So you always hear 90s kids and 2000s kids gush about how good the music of their eras were. And you know what? They're right, those decades did have a lot of fire music. Every decade has a fair amount of huge hits that go on to define the vibe of those years as time goes on. But a lot of people tend to over-exaggerate things and be like, oh, all the music that came out when I was growing up was amazing, and everything sucks now. It's an endless cycle. Literally every generation says this, and it's never been true. Every decade has good music and bad music, but you'll always hold the songs that were popular when you were a kid in high regard because, well, you were a kid, and life was still new and exciting. But as someone who grew up in the 2010s, I believe that it deserves its props in terms of pop music, especially the early 2010s. I mean, now that it's been 5 years, 5 years, Jesus Christ. Now that it's been 5 years since the end of the 2010s, I believe the nostalgia for it is now completely justified. And a few months ago, I was severely depressed, which is pretty cringe, not gonna lie. So like a lot of people do when they're in a bad mental state, I used childhood nostalgia as a coping mechanism. I went back to a lot of the shows, movies, YouTube videos, and more importantly, music from the early 2010s. And most of the enjoyment I got from these songs came from pure sentimentality and reminiscence, since they brought back a lot of memories from my childhood. I fully believe that I wouldn't be a fan of a lot of these songs if I hadn't heard them as a kid. You know, rose-tinted glasses and all. And that's not really me saying that these songs are bad, it's just obvious they're very of their time and pretty dated. But there are a few exceptions. During this endeavor, I rediscovered some songs that are genuinely really fire, regardless of nostalgia, and I wanted to talk about a few of those tracks that I think still hold up. Oh yeah, and I'll be primarily focusing on stuff that came out in the first half of the 2010s, so nothing past 2015.
I've never seen a diamond in the flesh.
I definitely remember this song being huge in my youth, and I'll be honest, upon this re-listen, it kinda sounds ahead of its time, and I find it almost wild that it was a big success. It doesn't really have that 2010 smash hit sound to it. It doesn't have any of those flashy, over-the-top elements that the decade would become known for. I could almost see this song coming out this year and still being held in pretty high regard. It isn't at all dated. It's a lot more subtle than one would expect it to be. I mean, the instrumental is basically just a drum machine and a very bare-bones bass line. The production is very minimalist. The song still manages to be an absolute banger though. It's effortlessly catchy despite its simplicity, the harmonies during the choruses are fantastic, and its lyrics are contradictory to what most other songs from this era we're talking about. I only know Lorde for her most popular tracks, but I wouldn't mind taking a deeper look into her discography, because I actually really like this song, even today.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life.
So recently there's been a resurgence in this genre I wasn't even aware of called clap stomp hey, which was super prevalent in the late 2000s and early 2010s. And by resurgence, I don't mean that it's super popular and beloved again, I more mean that it's being made fun of a lot these days and was sort of a meme earlier this year because of this song.
We are young. There's a fire in our soul.
To this day, I can't tell if the song is a joke or not, but either way, he was clearly trying to emulate that admittedly pretty cheesy sound. The reason I mentioned this genre though is cause Ho Hey by the Lumineers is basically its poster child. And I don't know man, it's possible that it's mostly out of nostalgia, but I really like this one, I can't lie. It's undeniably cheesy, but come on, a little cheese never hurt nobody. I mean, unless you're lactose intolerant. If you're lactose intolerant, please unsubscribe. Nah, but much like Royals, this one doesn't really fit the bill of your typical hit pop song from this era. But unlike Royals, I highly doubt it would make much of a splash if it came out today. But still, I don't know. This one is sweet. I like this one. It makes me feel good on the inside.
Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the...
Yeah, so I gotta be honest, this song made me cry like a little baby, like a little goo goo gaga ass baby when I listened to it. But before you judge, I was in a fragile state, okay? There's just this undeniable effect that music from your childhood has on you when you go back to it. Just this indescribable yearning feeling for something intangible. And this goddamn song just happened to hit me in the feels for that exact reason. That was an insane voice crack, but I'm gonna leave it in. And I already wasn't doing too good because, you know, chemical imbalance, but then this stupid ass song came and punched me in the gut 47 times, stabbed me, and took all my money. Anyway, I feel like this song has sort of remained in the cultural zeitgeist, even well past its initial success. And I think it deserves that. It's a fantastic song, especially that bridge. I mean, it's just so triumphant and big sounding. I genuinely believe I would still like this song even if it came out today. Unlike most of these songs, I never really stopped listening to this one, so I didn't really have to rediscover it.
Like the legend of the Phoenix.
I mean, I've been a Pharrell fan and a Daft Punk fan for years, so this song never really left my rotation. Despite that though, I definitely have tons of nostalgia for this one, cause how could I not? Pharrell had 3 huge hits in the year 2013, Blurred Lines, Happy, and this one. This is kind of the only one I still like. I mean, Happy is a pretty good song, but you aren't gonna catch me adding it to my playlist or anything. And plus, as I've mentioned a few times, Pharrell already wrote a song called Happy for his band NERD, and it's a way better song. And Blurred Lines is undeniably catchy, but the lyrics are a huge turnoff. Robin Thicke is a strange fellow, and if you're wondering why, you should watch this Mike the Snare video. Robin Thicke ain't even that thick. That's some false advertising right there. Oh yeah, Get Lucky. Get Lucky is a great song. I don't know what I could even say about this one that hasn't already been said. It's a bona fide classic. It perfectly achieves that 1980s sound without being too desperate to be retro. The hook is one of Pharrell's best, the instrumental is fantastic, especially Nile Rodgers' guitar parts and those little synths during the outro. Get Lucky deserves every bit of success it got. Absolute bop.
There's a fire starting in my heart.
Bro, Adele was doing her thing since day one. It's no surprise she's as popular as she is. And I don't even listen to her like that, but her impact on mainstream music is undeniable, and Rolling in the Deep is one of her very first big hits. This song is nothing short of fantastic. The way the verses build into that explosive chorus is just so big and grand sounding. And that's made even more apparent with Adele's powerful voice and demanding presence. This song is aged like fine wine. It feels like one of the most timeless tracks released during this time. We could have had it all, rolling in the deep.
Now and then I think of when we were together.
Okay, there's absolutely no avoiding it, so let me just address the elephant in the room real quick. Doechii kind of ruined this song, just a little bit. Like, she didn't do irreversible damage to its legacy like some people are claiming, but she definitely affected the way people are gonna hear the song from now on. Anxiety is a really bad song that just so happens to use the instrumental of somebody that I used to know. And I actually like Doechii, but that song is it's just not it. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, what about the original? I mean, what do you want me to say? It's somebody that I used to know. It's one of the best songs released during the 2010s, straight up. It has an iconic music video, outstanding and emotional performances from both Gaultier and Kimbra. It's a classic, absolute classic song. It's undeniable. I actually think this song would still do pretty well if it came out today. Maybe not like the early 2020s or even the late 2010s, but I feel like recently there's been a resurgence in music like this, so I could definitely see it being a big hit today. But even if it wasn't as huge as it is, that wouldn't change the fact that it's a genuinely amazing song. Anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to cover in this video. There are definitely a lot of songs I could have mentioned, but I wanted to narrow it down so the video wouldn't be too long. If there are any early 2010s hits that you think still hold up, you should tell me in the comments or something. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Goodbye.